Welcome friends once again to TV Box Top. My name is Nick and today is a special day because today I have my very first Ryzen 7 Windows 11 Nook Mini PC. This is the KAMRUI AM02 Ryzen 7 Windows 11 Mini PC. But before I continue, I would like to give special thanks to KAMRUI for sending this high-end model for review, and to check out their awesome line of Nook Mini PCs, see the link to their website and Amazon store using the link in the description below this video. So today's video is going to be exciting as we take a deep dive into its high-end hardware and explore the possibilities with difficult tasks such as video editing and PC gaming. And in my usual style, I'll attempt to install Android x86 and FydeOS to convert it into a super powerful Android TV box. So if you would like to see how it compares to the recent high-end Intel Core Iris models, stay tuned. My full review is up next. So I'm back, and to get started, let's take a look at what's inside the box. You get the KAMRUI AM02 model itself, one HDMI cable, a 12 volts 6 amps 75 watts DC power supply, the AC power cable for the power supply, a bracket for mounting to the back of your PC monitor, a pack of screws for mounting the bracket, and a multi-language user manual. The body of this unit is made of metal to the sides, and to the top has a scuffed patterned plastic cover with the KAMRUI logo with the Ryzen 7 and AMD Radeon graphics stickers. For its input-output peripherals, it has one HDMI 2.0 port, one 1.4 display port, 4 USB 3.0 ports, one Gigabit Ethernet LAN port, and its DC power input jack to its rear. To the left you have its intake vent, and to the right its exhaust vent. To the front it has a headphone jack, an LED power button, and a USB Type-C port. And below this PC you have screw holes for the included bracket, and 4 anti-skid rubber feet with screw holes in them that you can remove to access its DDR4 RAM modules and its M.2 NVMe SSD slot. So I'll now set this up on my 4K TV and capture card and continue. Welcome back. So I know some of you are excited to get to the alternative operating system segment, but I must first show you what you get in terms of hardware and what you can do under its Windows operating system. So upon startup, you get Windows 11 out of the box, and you are greeted with the Windows 11 Startup Wizard, where you can connect to your internet network and log into your Microsoft account. Once this is done, you will have a fully functional Windows 11 operating system. So here I am at the desktop, and if I navigate to the settings area under the About section, here it shows that the processor is an AMD Ryzen 7 3750H CPU with Radeon Vega mobile graphics support with a base clock speed of 2.30 GHz. It has 16 GB of DDR4 RAM, and it's a 64-bit operating system. Its operating system is Windows 11 Pro version 21H2, and if I scroll down under product key and activation, it shows that this version of Windows is activated. For a bit more in-depth information on its hardware, here the ADA64 Extreme app shows that this SoC is the AMD K17.1. Its CPU is a mobile AMD Ryzen 7 3750H CPU with a boost clock speed up to 3.9 GHz with 4 cores and 8 threads. Installed in this model is 16 GB of two 8 GB ADATA 2666 SODIMM DDR4 RAM modules. Its GPU is the AMD RX Vega 10, which is a 10-core graphics processor with a frequency of 1400 MHz. Its audio adapter is the Realtek ALC269, and in a moment I'll test to see if it has Dolby and DTS audio capabilities. For storage, it comes with an M.2 512GB FPT 310 M.8 NGFF SATA SSD. Its Wi-Fi adapter is an Intel dual-band wireless AC 7262 adapter that also has Bluetooth 4.2 support, and below here is its BIOS information. So this operating system, or firmware for much of a better word, has the following features on this hardware. When connected to my 4K TV and capture card, you get 4K display up to 2160p with HDR, and you also get auto HDR. You have the ability to set the display to portrait mode, flipped landscape, or flipped portrait mode. This is for usage with vertical displays. You also get up to 60Hz for monitors that support it. It has three-way display via its HDMI port, its DisplayPort, and wireless display. Its USB Type-C port, however, is not a DisplayPort. When connected to a 7.1 audio receiver, you get Dolby Atmos, DTS-X, DTS HD Master Audio, Dolby Surround, and Dolby True HD.
This is Dolby Atmos, the world's first object-based cinematic audio. With powerful moving audio that transcends from channels to moving around you.
This is the left channel. Next, we have the center channel. Over here is the right channel.
Included in the Microsoft Store are extensions to play all your surround sound audio formats and 4K HDR video formats, including MPEG Layer 2 and the AV1 decoder. With these extensions, you can play all your 4K video formats using the Windows Movie and the TV player.
And only a win for Barca would be enough, because it would give them the same number of points as Atletico, but the head-to-head goal difference is what counts in the case.
For those who would like to watch Netflix, Disney Plus, and other premium movie streaming services on the Windows, you have HDCP 2.2 or 2.3 protection that allows these services to play in HD and 4K. So as I proceed, in testing its video editing capabilities, I loaded a 4K video into Camtasia and attempted to play and edit the timeline. In editing one of my existing 4K videos, I was able to play and make edits to the timeline, drag and drop segments without issues. So probably the most important test I can perform on this unit is its graphics running performance via 3D gaming. It comes with an internal cooling fan for its CPU, and it has a powerful 10-core AMD Radeon Vega 10 GPU at 1400 MHz. So let's put it to the test on some high graphics games. First, this is the most popular game trending right now called Apex Legends, and I had to set the resolution to 1080p as 4K resulted in drop frames and throttling.
Looks like a care package is coming in. Big things in that.
Get shot at. I've been down.
Disconnected again.
Next is a legendary versus fighting game that originated in the 90s called Samurai Showdown. And for those interested in emulation gaming, here I installed the PCSX2 PlayStation 2 emulator with the resolution set to 1080p and with 8-bit textures enabled. If I set it to 4K, it really struggles and the graphics run very slowly. So for a Nook Windows Mini PC, its graphics performance is really good, along with its ability to perform video editing. However, it does have its limitations. So to close off this segment, let's take a look at its benchmarks and where it places on my rankings chart. First, its RAM copy speed and its M.2 SSD read and write speeds. The NovaBench app shows that it has a RAM copy speed of 26,403 MB per second. Its M.2 SSD has a read speed of 460 MB per second and a write speed of 498 MB per second. Next, we have the results from the test performed on its Wi-Fi bands and its Gigabit Ethernet LAN port. And it shows that on the 5 GHz band and on the LAN port, based on my network speed of 250 megabits per second, they both achieved the maximum speed of my bandwidth. The 2.4 GHz band only achieved 27%. On the test performed specifically on the performance of its CPU during single-core and multi-core tasks, the Geekbench 5 benchmarking app results show that it received a score of 839 single-core and 3,342 multi-core. And for benchmarking its GPU, it scored 66,109 in the Ice Storm Extreme test, 14,334 in the CloudGate test, and 1,109 in the TimeSpy test. In the AnTuTu benchmark, it scored 305,005, and in the PCMark 10 comprehensive benchmark, it scored 3,947. So that's the last of the benchmarks. Let's now see where it places on my rankings chart. So after entering the scores on my mini PC rankings chart, the KAMRUI AM02 mini PC is at position number 2 in reference to PC Mark 10 benchmark scores, and in comparison to the Intel Iris models, its CPU is not as powerful as the Intel Core i5, but its GPU performance is outstanding. If you would like to view this chart, you can do so on my blog, where you can compare various benchmark scores and price comparison links. A link to this chart can be found in the description below this video. So that ends the official operating system and what you can do under Windows. And now onto the experimental segment, where I attempt to install alternative operating systems such as Android, x86 and FydeOS to convert this mini PC into a super powerful Android TV box. This mini PC does not come with an expandable storage facility, which means if you would like to install another operating system without interfering with your Windows operating system, you will have to remove its default SSD and replace it with another and perform a full install on that drive. You can partition the existing SSD, but I don't recommend it, given the many attempts and adjustments you may need to perform. So after hours of experimenting, seeing that this is the first time I'm attempting this on this latest AMD hardware, I was met with unexpected challenges with Android x86, where even though the BIOS allowed me to install firmware, it wouldn't register the grab entries needed for me to boot up into Android. I even manually registered keys into the secure boot management and exported those keys to the installation disk, and it still wouldn't boot, so that experiment was a failure. I did, however, have success installing FydeOS operating system, which by the way is the better operating system to run on Windows hardware if you would like to totally convert it into an Android TV box. But with that said, it too has its challenges running on AMD chipset. Firstly, Bluetooth is not working, and I couldn't install root access via the Super User app. Other than those two, everything else seems to be working. Let's take a quick look under system and hardware information to see what you get with this configuration. So under FydeOS, the firmware accesses 40 GB of the 16 GB of DDR4 RAM installed. The CPU is clocked at the base clock speed of 2.3 GHz with support for both 32 and 64-bit apps and games. It shows that the GPU is the AMD Radeon with OpenGLES version 3.1 with MESA support. You get a dual band Wi-Fi support. Its operating system is Android 9 Pie with no root access. Under devices, it shows that you have Vulkan support. Its temperature idles around 45 degrees Celsius with its internal cooling fan. And you have decoders for the playback of 4K videos, but unfortunately, you don't get any surround sound audio decoders. One of the cool features of FydeOS is that you get to watch Netflix and other premium movie services in HD via the Chromium browser. All you need to do is maximize for full screen experience.
There was this bee.
In comparison to Android boxes, the performance of Android on this Ryzen 7 CPU and Radeon GPU is outstanding, as it has an ANTUTU benchmark score of 712,189. Now, if you were into 64-bit Android gaming or emulation gaming, this is the perfect environment and performance you'll be looking for. Let's take a look at its gaming performance. So its graphics quality and the rendering is outstanding. The problem with gaming on FydeOS on this AMD machine is that you don't have root access, as many attempts to do so will freeze up Google Play services. This means you don't get root access to use keep happening apps. I also attempted some emulation gaming using the Aether SX2 PlayStation emulator, but when I attempted to add my ROMs folder, the emulator does not see any ROMs in the folder. So in summary, the KAMRUI AM02 is a powerful Windows 11 mini PC that can perform standard and advanced tasks really well. It's a great entertainment device for PC gaming, and you can even use it on the Windows for watching movies with surround sound audio formats including Dolby HD. As for alternative operating systems, you will face some issues trying to install Android x86, and even though FydeOS works great, the AMD version of the software has problems gaining root access. So in the end, installing alternative operating systems has nothing to do with its primary function of being a Windows 11 mini PC, and it performs that function flawlessly. So I highly recommend it as a powerful AMD Ryzen 7 mini PC to buy. So this brings to an end my review. Special thanks goes out to KAMRUI for sending their high-end model for review. If you would like to get your hands on this latest model, you can do so using the link in the description directly below this video, where you can get it at a competitive price. So if you enjoyed this video, smack the thumbs up button. If you would like to see more of these videos, hit that subscribe button and the notifications bell to keep in the loop as to when I release new videos or decide to do a giveaway. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.